Yeah, that was so busy. Nama security lang upon. Comrades, we are starting now. Lento yeni paperless. You thought abasebenzi. Iyahlupa kancane ngoba thina sijwayele ukukhuluma ngephepha. Comrades, good evening. Thank you very much for coming. I want to take this opportunity to greet the leaders of the Federation, the World Federation of Trade Unions. Of course, Comrade Pambis is not here, but he was with us in the meeting earlier on, but to greet the President, Comrade Mzwandile Mugwaiwa, the international guests that are here, in particular the leaders of the various organizations from the international fraternity. Our guests locally here, the COSATU affiliates that have joined us, the alliance partners that have joined us, our partners in the service centers. I'm honored to welcome you to this international seminar of our 13th National Congress. We are especially honored by the presence of our international guests who have traveled from across the world to be with us today. Your presence, comrades, is a practical expression of international solidarity and a reminder that while workers may be separated by geographic and the borders, we are united by common struggles and common aspirations. We extend a special welcome to our keynote speaker, Comrade George Mavericos, who is the president of the International Workers Institute and an honorary president of the World Federation of Trade Unions. Comrade George, we are deeply honored by your presence at our Congress, your lifelong dedication to the international working class movement, and your unwavering commitment to the militant, class-oriented, and trade unionism continues to inspire workers across the world. Your presence enriches our Congress, and we look forward to the insightful you will be giving to us this evening. Comrades, delegates, particularly comrades from the international sphere, we meet at a decisive moment in the history of the international working class. Across every continent, workers continue to confront the consequences of a global capitalist system that places profit before human need. We witness growing attacks on collective bargaining, the erosion of labor rights, the privatization of the public services, the expansion of precarious work and unemployment and rising inequalities. At the same time, the world continues to experience escalating conflict, occupation, unilateral coercive measures, and foreign interventions. These developments have brought immense suffering to the working people, particularly in the global south, who continue to bear the burden of war, displacement, economic hardship, and exploitation. It's precisely because of these realities that internationalism remains an inseparable principle of the trade union movement. The challenges confronting workers are increasingly global in character, and they require collective organization, coordinated action, and unwavering solidarity amongst class-oriented trade union people. As we will have seen, our theme of advancing the workplace organization to defend collective bargaining and also depending on class consciousness. This speaks directly to this responsibility. It reminds us that strong workplace organization remains the foundation of effective trade unionism, that collective bargaining remains one of the principal instruments through which workers defend their interests, that class consciousness must be continuously nurtured in the face of ideological attacks designed to divide workers. And the international solidarity is not an abstract idea, but a practical necessity. This seminar therefore provides an important opportunity for reflection, for discussions, and the exchange of experiences among organizations committed to advancing the interests of the working people. We have much to learn from one another and much to attribute to the strengthening of the international trade union movement. As NEHAWU, we remain firmly committed to strengthening our relationship with the World Federation of Trade Unions and its affiliates to build unity among workers and to contribute to the struggle for a more just, democratic, and peaceful world. I am confident, comrade, that discussion in this evening will enrich our Congress and strengthen our collective resolve to defend workers' rights and deepen international solidarity and advance the cause of the working class. Some of you, comrades, that come from abroad or outside the borders of South Africa will have joined us in August last year when we were having our collective bargaining conference. We also had a similar seminar where we exchanged ideas about the international struggle. We want to appreciate a lot for you coming back again to join us in our 13th National Congress. When you joined us in 2025, as a country, South Africa is a nation that is committed and is a beneficiary of the international solidarity, that understand that practical international solidarity is that which unites the struggling people, but also support those who are struggling across the other borders. We were going through, as a country, a decampaigning of our country by racist right-wing people who were going across the world demonizing the South African state and South African people, being accused that we are a xenophobic country, that we are a genocidal country, that we were killing white people, to an extent that the imperialist forces of the world saw it fit to sanction our government leaders, to sanction our political party leaders, to downgrade us in terms of the economic ratings or rating agencies. As you will have known, by the time we hosted the G20 here, which we were president of as a country, United States of America didn't come. And as you will have known, once the United States is now a president of the G20, South Africa is not invited. It is in that decampaigning of the people who misses apartheid and colonialism in this country, who are representative of the colonial masters or the imperialist forces in our shores, that we suffer the economic hardships of being decampaigned and we put it in the bad light. We declared then, we assured you, we took you to the tours, you went to Soweto, you went to Union Building, you went to Vilakazi Street, you didn't experience any killing of white people, you didn't experience any xenophobic tendencies to South Africans. You experienced a peaceful, a united, and a loving nation. We can assure you today that's the same thing that you're going to experience. But of course, you're joining us today at a time that the problem that we have in the world of the global migration from one country and one continent to another, the movement of workers to follow the wealth, has reached a tipping point in South Africa. So sure, you might be seeing a lot of movement, a lot of people being deported, a lot of people being repatriated. You might be seeing a lot of noises coming from some of our country, particularly the African continent brothers and sisters. And some of you are here as trade union movements that come from Tanzania, that may be coming from Zimbabwe, that may be coming from Ghana, in which this global migration affects your citizens as we stand here. We need to reflect as COSATU, as NEHAWU, that as our president of COSATU said earlier on, we are not a xenophobic country. We appreciate that Africa is one continent and we're all citizens of Africa. But again, no country can tolerate lawlessness, be it from its own citizens in the country or visitors into the country. We condemn, as NEHAWU, the collapse of the law enforcement institutions in our country, which is a result why we can't enforce migration laws in the country, is the reason why we can't enforce labor laws in the country, and extend that unscrupulous employers take advantage and employ undocumented workers and exploit them and pay them cheap labor, and South Africans therefore revolt. So our stance, if you want to know, comrades, that are coming from outside South Africa, that your brothers and sisters are today being deported or being repatriated, is that we want our migration laws to be respected, to be enforced. We want our labor laws to be respected, to be enforced. We know very well that deporting and driving them out of the country will not bring about the permanent and long-term solution. We have therefore called for engagement by trade union movement, by government, and by civil societies that are running the marches to have a continental and a regional long-term solution, particularly the economic development programs in those countries and the political stability in those countries. We're calling on our trade union counterparts that come from this African continent to help us to fight for the economic stability in our country, to fight for the political stability in our country, to help us to push for a continental and coordinated reconstruction and development program for the post-colonial Africa. It is the only program that is going to ensure that as a continent, having been decolonized or having been liberated, we need our own reconstruction of our continental society or African society, economic of the continent. With those, comrades, I'm welcoming you. Please enjoy. Please have an engagement that is going to be beneficial to all of us. Please have an engagement that is going to be educational to all of us. Let us share experiences. Let us exchange notes about what is happening in our countries. Amandla. At this point in time, I want to call the Deputy General Secretary to come and acknowledge all our guests that are here. Thank you very much.
Good evening, comrades. Good evening, comrades. I know it has been a long day. Comrades, we want to acknowledge our international guests to this occasion. We've been joined by 21 international guests representing 16 organizations from 14 countries. The first comrade we want to acknowledge is the President of the World Federation of Trade Unions, Comrade Mzwandile Michael Magwaiwa. Ndlovu. We are also joined by the Executive Secretary of WAF2, Comrade Anda Anastasaki. We have the President of Trade Union International Public Service and Allied, Comrade Atur Seguera. We have the General Secretary of Portuguese National Federation of Public and Social Sector Trade Unions, Comrade Santana. We have the Secretary General of Sahrawi Trade Union of Western Sahara, Comrade Mohammed. We have the President of the Authorized Union of Civil Service Employees of Nepal, Comrade Bola. We have the President of the Amalgamated Rural Teachers Trade Union of Zimbabwe, Comrade Obed. We have the President of Botswana Lands Boards, Local Authorities and Health Workers Union, Comrade Tato Yawen. I hope I'm not butchering the name. We have the Secretary General of Botswana Lands Boards, Local Authorities and Health Workers Union, Comrade Mutsidisi. The National Chairperson of Tanzania Local Government Workers Union, Comrade Tumaini. The General Secretary of Lesotho Teachers Trade Union, Comrade Sichaba. The President of Swaziland National Public Sector and Allied Workers Union, Comrade Bawinile. The President of Zambia Union of Government and Allied Workers Union, Comrade Kabisa. We also have the member of the Executive Bureau of the Pan-Cyprian Federation of Labor, Comrade Stravos. We also have the organizing office of the Pan-Cyprian Federation of Labor, Comrade Modestos. The Executive Committee member of Mozambique National Union of Civil Servants, Comrade Antonio. He's not there. We also have the Director of Research and International Relations of Zambia, Union of Government and Allied Workers, Comrade Humphrey. The Deputy General Secretary of Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia, Comrade Agnes. The Director of Human Resources and Administration of Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia, Comrade Esther. From the International Relations Department of Basque Country Patriotic Workers Committees, Comrade Miriam. The Head of International Relations Department of Parisian Sanitation Workers Union, Comrade Tomek. Lastly, we have the Honorary President of the World Federation of Trade Unions and the President of International Workers Institute, Comrade George Mavrikos. Thank you, comrades. Those are our international guests in this session. Thanks.
Thank you, DJs. And comrades, I think we need to, can we give a round of applause for our international guests? It is important for us to express our appreciation and being humbled by the response to our Congress by our international guests, but also their attendance to this seminar. And I've omitted Comrade GS to say to this international guests that one of the reasons why we always have this seminar is because when we invite them to our Congress and we're busy with our business, we don't have time for them most of the time. So they come, some of them, they end up leaving without us having seen them or having had a meeting or having talked. And most of them, they come here for bilateral and some relationship moving forward. So we have decided to, from time to time, create a platform and a session only to interact with our international guests, to show respect and appreciation of their presence, but also indeed to benefit. So we want to thank you for coming here, and we want to inform you that actually, much as we're going to allow you to engage, the reason is that as the National Office Bearers, the National Executive Committee, and as a National Congress, we wanted to spare time with you to show that we see you, that you responded to our invite, and you came and we interact. I'm now going to call the General Secretary to introduce for us the guest speaker that is going to speak here. I'm in the program. And oh, okay. Okay. Comrade Anda, the program is still the same, it's just the name that they've changed. So, Comrade Anda, please come forward. Comrades might know George Maverick, because we were with him in Durban. He has always been in our congresses. He's an honorary president of WAFTO now. Comrade Anda. And then you invite her to come in, so that I sit down.
Yes. Thank you, President. Dear presidents, I say presidents because we have more than one here today. Dear general secretaries, dear leaders, dear brothers and sisters. My name is Anastasaki. I'm the Executive Secretary of the WFTU. I am also Deputy General Secretary of the sectoral organization of WFTU for the pensioners. So I bring you here a warm greeting message on behalf of this Trade Union International of the Pensioners, which is the only international organization for pensioners worldwide. So today, the pensioners as well as workers, they have common problems. This is why from our TUI, we call upon all workers to join the trade unions when they become pensioners, because we have a very long way to go, and the victory can only be achieved through the class struggles. We would like to thank very much NEHAWU for the invitation to come to this 13th Congress, and we wish the Congress full success. I would like to, not to waste much time, I just want to say that next October, beginning of October, October 1st, will be the International Working Day of the Pensioners, and we will be very happy and honored to be back here in South Africa in cooperation with our President, Comrade Mike Mzandile Makowiba, as a host of an event dedicated to the pensioners, along with all the working class of South Africa. All the affiliates and the members of COSATU are welcome to join this activity. I also greet my comrades from the other African countries. I've been to many of them, like Tanzania, like Zimbabwe, like Zambia. I look forward to visit also other countries to exchange on the programs for the trade union education through the International Workers Institute, as well as the sectoral organization of pensioners. By ending, I would like to greet the South African Communist Party and to extend a red salute to the party, which is always in the front line of the class struggles of the South African people and working class. And we would like to welcome you all to the Congress of WFTU that will take place next year in Sri Lanka on May 2027. Now we will move on to the main topic for which we are here. It's going to be a lecture. The main topic of this lecture is the basic characteristics of the working class in our contemporary times. This topic is a very contemporary and modern topic, and it's a very crucial one. From the time of Karl Marx until today, this topic has been the cause of many theoretical discussions and many conflicts, ideological conflicts and discussions and exchanges throughout the world. So the presentation of this lecture will be done about 40 minutes, almost about 40 minutes, and it will be presented by Comrade George Mavrikos, who is the honorary president of the WFTU, and also president of the International Workers Institute. So before I give the floor to Comrade Mavrikos, I would like to send our warmest solidarity and internationalism and red salute to our comrades and brothers in Cuba. We call upon you all to sign in the campaign that we have organized, Firmo por Cuba. It's online. You only need to put your name and your country. To extend our solidarity and internationalism to our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Lebanon, in all parts of the world where they are facing the imperialist attacks and the wars. So thank you very much, comrades. Comrade Mavrikos, you have the floor. Thank you, comrades.
Viva NEHAWU, viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Viva South African Communist Party, viva! Dear brothers and sisters, allow me at the beginning to express our thanks for this invitation, and it is a pleasure for me that today we are here, and I am here with all of you, and also with some former leaders of NEHAWU with whom we work together and to strike together for many decades, like Comrade Lulamile Sotaka, like Comrade and Sister Nolutando, like Comrade Fikile and Comrade Mike. It is an honor for me that I work together with them for many years for the benefit of class-oriented trade union movement and for the benefit of working class. Brothers and sisters, we, the last year, 2025, on November, we organized with physical presentation one international theoretical symposium with this topic, the main characteristics of working class in our times. It was very useful and very important for us because 25 leaders from international trade union movement, they discussed about this topic, which is crucial topic for the working class, not only for today, but it was from the era of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. We, dear brothers and sisters, as International Workers' Institute, we created 3 years ago, we founded 3 years ago, and the last 3 years we organized 22 international seminars, lectures, or international theoretical forums. More than 900 unionists, they participated from more than 85 countries all over the world. We founded this institute because we believe that in our times the ideological war, it is the main topic for the class-oriented trade union movement, because the bourgeois class, they attacked not only our pocket, not only our social security rights, our rights and democratic freedoms for trade union movement. They attacked not only our right to strike, but at the same time, they attacked our mind, and especially for the young generation, for the young people. Because of this, we believe that ideological and theoretical view and topics are crucial, not only for today, also for today, but at the same time for the near future and for the future for our movement. We, as an institute, we are in coordination also with the very important institute in your country, the Institute Chris Hani, institute under the influence of COSATU, of South African Communist Party, and from your movement. And we believe that also for South Africa, we have the possibilities to organize theoretical seminars and lectures to strengthen our level, to be better in our struggles. Because of this, we are open and ready to work together with all of you and through your unions and through your leaderships. Brothers and sisters, dear colleagues, on the topic of social classes, it is a very crucial topic, not only for our times, because the answer of this question created and the situation about the future of our system. There are working class today or not? What the characteristics? What its role, its strategic task? It is crucial questions, and as we know, all of us, many books, many papers, countless articles have been and are being written on all over the world on the issues of classes. During the last centuries, the ideological conflict for this topic, it is very, very strong until our times. Many times we answer that there is not ideological already in our times. The end of ideologies, the end of working class, the end of the ruling, the leading role of working class. The correct knowledge, it is important, dear colleagues. It is important analysis, to have the good analysis and correct analysis of class composition is an element, because it is an element necessary for developing the correct strategy and correct tactics of the workers' movement. To knowledge and to have the correct analysis, it helps the right definition of the driving forces and the policy of the necessary alliance of the working class with the other popular strata. The exact knowledge of the components of the social composition also assist to understanding the priorities of the organization, targets of the movement, of working movement and trade unions in the modern necessities for developing organization measures and many, many very goals of class struggle. We know and we listen in our struggles, in our life, many anti-scientistic theories. For example, we know that many who they are against the class orientation and against the leading role of working class, they said that the working class in our times, it is only the manual workers. They want to limit the role of working class. Others who they said that, as I told, we live in the end of the working class and are used of imposing on workers' conscience the concept that their interests are the same with those of the owners, that the working class disappear and thus so does the class struggle. It means that we need to work and to struggle together with our bosses, together as workers with the bourgeois class. In the 60s and 70s, there were some anti-scientistic theories on class which were strengthening the limits of the working class, that with the slogan working people. Working people, it means that all people who they work, we are in the common social class. And because of this, we have the possibility to work all together. It means that the owner, the capitalist, who is working in his company, it is in the same group, and to have to work, to struggle together with the worker who is working in his capitalist company. This situation, brothers and sisters, it is very important for the unions, for our leaders, for our class-oriented union, especially in a period in artificial intelligence and in our period when the technology and revolution results of technology inside in the workplaces and they play a role very, very important. We need to know, brothers and sisters, which way it was the creation of social classes. We know that in the primitive society there were not any classes, because essentially there was not any private ownership. We know that at that time between the two sexes it was division of the labor. The creation of the classes, it was when the power of economy collect in a very few people. This way, step by step, the division of society in classes and social strata was created. On the one side, there were the owners of means of production, slave owners, federal lords, bourgeois, and from the other side, those who by themselves were the slave owners, tolls of property, such as slave in slave society, or they had few tolls of their own to work on the land for the feudal lords, or they just have their hands and means for and serve them. That is to say that they sell their labor power in order to live. This way, the antagonism position of these two basis classes started to appear in every consequence formation. The classes conflict started. The first big class confrontation in the history is considered to be the revolt of Spartacus in the 1st century before Christ, where more than 100,000 slaves took part. On that matter, Karl Marx, in one of these letters to Friedrich Engels, reads, Spartacus appears as the most famous figure revealed by the ancient history, a great general, a real representative of the ancient proletariat. Feudal lords, aristocrats, landowners, emperors, popes, cardinals, and kinds of accumulated land and economic resources in their ownership and controlled commerce. This tendency, of course, merchants to collect the power, they unite their efforts and to create the exploitation against the working class. This tendency was growing bigger, giving economic power to manufacturing and scrap industry units owner and created the young emerging bourgeois class. This way, they became the first capitalists in their era, in the given at the time feudal system of social production. On the other hand, on the other side, serfs, other independent individual producers and manual workers were obligated in order to survive to sell their labor power to the capitalist in exchange for a remuneration. They became thus the first sectors of the working class in their era. As our theory of Marxist theory underline, in our societies there are two basic classes. In class societies there are the basic classes that they have a leading role in production, and the non-basic various social strata that can be found between the two basic classes. That is why they are called middle or intermedia strata. The class struggle in capitalist society is held principally between the two basic classes, and each one of the basic antagonist classes tries to carry to their side, tries to gain allies from within the non-basic classes and the other social strata. The two basic classes in capitalism are the bourgeois class in the class of capitalists, and the other side on the working class on the opposite side. The definition of classes was prepared by great thinkers Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels with their classic work, and finally was formulated by the Ilyich Lenin in his work, The Great Initiative, where it is underlined that classes are large groups of people differing from each other. First of all, different because by the place they occupy in the determinate system of social production. Second, by their relations to the means of production. Third one, by their role in the organization of labor, by the mode of remuneration, and by the dimensions of the shares of social wealth of which they dispose. a capitalist is the industrial, trader, banker, owners of great and land areas cultivated by workers, the owners of big tourist complex, etc., who has capital and makes use of it in the production process and services, is owner of means of production moved by the workers whose labor power buys. Those who take part in the production process as bosses, who receive their income from the profits they gain selling the produce produced by the workers working for them, who exploit and profit from the workers' exploitation, from the surplus value produced by the workers, those whose income enlarges and secures for them a comfortable life and accumulation of wealth. Workers, from the other side, proletarians, those who do not have means of production under their ownership. Those who sell their physical or mental labor power, or both of them, and receive their income whether in the form of salary, wage, hourly or weekly payment, those whose incomes is small and have and hard time making ends meet, those whose job is mainly to merely execute the instrumentation and direction of their superiors, those who are opposite of the capitalist system. Namely, the basic classes are on one side the class that owns the means of production, and on the opposite side the exploited, the oppressed class. In the course of the centuries, the base classes have been in a slave society, the slave owners on the side, the slave on the other side. In the feudalism, feudal lords on one side, the farmers on the other side. In capitalism, on the side of the bourgeoisie and the proletarian on the other side. The proletariat includes the industry workers, but also the workers in commerce, services, the farm workers, bank employees, etc. The working class has different strata as well. There is an internal stratification. For example, the factory proletariat who works in the big factories is concentrated and constitutes the heart of the working class. The industrial proletariat, that included factory workers as well as every worker in big construction groups in other smaller industries, etc. The unemployment who are the reserve army also. At this situation, brothers and sisters, of course there are, as I said, intermedia strata. Of course, bourgeois society is not just comprised of bourgeoisie and working class. Between them, between two basic classes, there are the immediate strata of city and villages, community. Their main characteristics is that even though they possess some means of production, they are not that developed so as the outcome of every individual labor they be incorporated to the product obtained. That is to say that they don't use somebody else's wage labor of they use into a limited extent and mainly in cooperative forms. Thus, they have an intermediate position between bourgeois and between working class. Dependent brothers and sisters on the number of using somebody else's wage, labor and the level of their income, some parts of the immediate strata are closer to the working class and some other border in the bourgeois class. These strata, by their nature, the society oscillate between bourgeois and working class. Also, we need to know, to have the knowledge about the interclass strata. It is important because we need to know to strengthen and to build our alliance, our coordinations. For example, peasants. There are, you know that there are farmers who own large tracts on land, are rich and exploit the workers who cultivate the land. They usually have a vertically integrated production in agriculture and livestock produce progressing. These farmers are rich and belong to the bourgeois class. Other farmers are intermediate with smaller land properties, even though they have the capacity of mechanism farming and gaining income to make ends meet. But there are also poor farmers who own very little land and have difficulty to survive and to constitute the vast majority while being the closer allies of the working class as well as a moving force for social progress. The peasantry, the poor peasants, were a basic class during the feudal times. Of course, farm workers also exist. Friedrich Engels, in his work The Peasant Questions in France and Germany since 1894, divides the peasants in landless rural workers, small peasants, middle peasants and big peasants. He also underlines that there are also latifundis and big landowners who constitute anti-science capital business. There are also intelligentsia. It is also special interclass social stratum. Under conditions of scientific and technological revolution, artificial intelligence, they quantify and they have very grown and play important role. You know that there are, for example, doctor who is worker in a hospital, private or public, but at the same time there are many doctors who have clinics, who have private hospitals, who they have in their work many doctors to who they doctors work for the owners, and because of this we need to have in our minds about our alliance. Also we need to know about the young people, the young generation, about the students, about the young people. We say as Marxists that the young people, the students, they belong in the class, social class in which belong the family. But when they, and we, because of this, we said students from the working class, students from the bourgeois class, young people from the bourgeois class, from the rich family, student from the poor family, from the working class, from the unemployment people, etc., etc. The young people, we put in the classes, social classes, when they receive work and they go in the work time. And about we put in which classes through the criteria of Marx and Lenin, as we said it before. Some other issues regarding the working class, according to the dominant Marxism view, the criteria as have been given by Lenin definition of classes must be taken into consideration uniformly, together, and not individually or by groups. It means that the 3 or 4 criteria from Marx and Lenin we need to put in our mind and to have as criteria together. If we obligated to prioritize one for its special wages, this would be the criterion by their relations to the means of production. Brothers and sisters, I will to conclude with some points to underline the role of the working class. The working class, from our theoretical view, the working class has some attributes that make in vanguard class for social progress, giving in the leading role in the course for democracy and socialism. The most basic of these tasks are, it is first, and these possibilities is that working class, it is connected with the big production of wealth that is getting greater and greater with the concentration and centralization that is consumed in a constant process. It is the main productive force in capitalist society, since they produce all goods from means of production to articles of consumption sold by the capitalist to make profits. It is concentrated in big business groups, urban centers, big cities. It is concentrated in big industrial centers and big factories. It is constantly improving its educational level, its technical knowledge, its experience and skills. It is the class that has the best discipline by the participation in the production process. It is also characteristic by collective action. It has militant disposition, militant stability and consistency. It is the class that is organized in its own organizations, since it has its trade unions and has a wide historically accumulated experience of struggles and class confrontation. As a class, it can express the basic economic and political interest of the whole working people and unite around it the poor peasantry, the self-employment given and constant tendency of their proletarian and capitalist growth. It is the class that with the overthrow of the capitalist system will have nothing to lose but their change. This characteristic underline the vanguard role of the working class in the struggles for the organization of society without bosses, without exploitation. It has this goal under the condition that is organized in its own party, which is vanguard. In the modern world, this situation are strengthened and make the working class even more important, since it's getting a better education level, knows and makes use of the new technologies, knows through internationalization the new from every corner of the world, and this internationalization facilitates the workers' knowledge, the expansion of experience, and the expansions of solidarity and internationalism. The internationalization of class struggle gives the working class bigger strength along in the intervention of the economic, political, and ideological level. Of course, under the conditions that class struggles have a certain concert and orientation fighting capitalists until the overthrow against the barbarity and until the final victory. Brothers and sisters, we need as trade unionists and trade union leaders to pay attention about the ideological and theoretical topics. Okay, it is useful and necessity that we pay attention for our salaries, for our social security, for our works, for our 35 hours per week, for many of our demands. We fully agree, but at the same time, we need to strengthen our cadres, to strengthen our struggles with theoretical and ideological targets, because the government has the possibility today to give us big increase in salaries. And the next day, the government, they increase tax. And because of this, we need to analyze and to guide the young people and all workers in our ordinary and daily struggles. We as an institute, we are ready to work with all of you, of course with our difficulties, but we are optimistic. Until today, the last 3 years, we organized these seminars, lectures, and we are going to organize also this year a very crucial for us theoretical forum with the main topic about the battle of history. The history, it is not past. History, the results of history, the positive and negative results from history, it is element for today and for tomorrow. And we know that the bourgeois class, the international organizations, the multinationals and monopolies, they create to change the history, to change the truth, to renew and to create new histories for the young people. And they have many possibilities. They have schools, they have churches, they have pubs, they have cardinals, they have universities, they have professors, they have movies, they have televisions, they have mass media, they have money. And because of this, we need to strengthen our support, the truth of history, the truth of the trade union history, to know, for example, that we are not the same, WFTU and ITUC. No. The WFTU from 1945, it was always in the same rank together with the people against the apartheid, against colonialism, in the war of Vietnam with the Vietnam, in the Cuba with Cuba, in the struggle of Palestine to the rights of Palestine, in the North Korea war with the people, against the war in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya, in Syria. From the other side, ITUC, they were puppet of imperialism, support the jihadists in Syria, support the USA and NATO in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Yugoslavia. Now supported the role of NATO against Russia and the war in Ukraine. They organize and support many slanders and obstacles against the Cuba. They were with USA against the people of Vietnam. They have in their bodies, in the leadership, the Israel cadres who they supported the Netanyahu. We need to know the history, because if you know the history, we understand that we are proud for the history of WFTU, and the ITUC, they have dirty history from 1949 until today. Because of this, we are optimistic, and we need to strengthen World Federation of Trade Unions, to strengthen, dear comrades, of our efforts, to strengthen our political avant-garde and our political and our trade union movement. Long live South African Communist Party. Long live NEHAWU. Long live COSATU. Long live international solidarity. Amanda.
Bandla. Thank you very much, comrades. Even though we are in the seminar, we must still eat. So, Comrade Mavericos, thank you very much for that insightful ideological grounding and the emphasis on our struggle to be grounded first and foremost, so that we're not flip-flopping even when things are difficult. The next session, comrades, is in terms of our program. And as a program, I'm chairing with the National Treasurer. because the presidency is refusing to assist me. Ngiyareport manje. We are going to receive 3 minutes of input from all the international guests that wishes to speak. You are not forced to speak, comrades. But if you want to reflect on the input by Comrade George, you can come. I don't know if we do have a roving mic. It will make things easier for the mic to move to the table than comrades to come here. If we don't, in the meantime, we can be organizing them. I'm calling the General Secretary of the Portuguese Federation of Public Service and Social Security Union to be the first one to make a 3 minutes input. So before you start, General Secretary, before you start, the second deputy president of NEHAWU specializes in timekeeping. So he's gonna activate the clock there, and then when 3 minutes is done, he's gonna alert me that your time is up. Thank you.
Good evening, comrades. On behalf of the National Federation of Trade Union of Public and Social Workers affiliated with the CGTP, please accept our warmest greetings on the occasion of your Congress and this seminary. We are deeply grateful for the opportunity to be here with you, to share our experience of struggle and to learn about the challenges currently faced by workers in South Africa and around the world. In Portugal, as in many other countries, workers are being confronted with right-wing policies implemented by a social democratic government with the parliamentary support of far-wing forces. Neoliberalism is attempting in our country to settle scores with the April Revolution of 1974. Within the public sector, areas such as health and education are suffering from the most severe attacks since the revolution. Under the direction of the European Union, the national government is implementing measures that undermine these public services and attack workers' rights. I refer to policy of chronic underfunding of National Health Service, depriving it from resources needed to guarantee the right health care, while at the same time transferring enormous amounts of public money to private health care. To give you a clearer picture of what I'm talking about, half of the public health budget is now being transferred directly to private operators who gradually seeking to replace National Health Service. In the education, attack is also brutal. Once again, the objective is clear: the downgrade of public service so that private interests can profit from its decline. In other sectors, such as social security, the same recipe is being followed. False claims are being spread out. The sustainability of public pension system, while the supposed advantage of private pension funds are constantly promoted. All these examples stem from one fundamental fact. This government that we have in Portugal and the far-right parties that support it are determined to settle scores with the April Revolution and with the Constitution adopted in 1976, one of the most progressive constitutions in Europe. It guarantees the right to health care, universal, comprehensive and free of charge, the right to education for all and of high quality, the universal right to social protection, the right to decent housing for all, the right to culture, the right to organize in trade unions, the right to participate in drafting of legislation. It's precisely these achievements that the government seeks to destroy. 11 months ago, the government presented a proposal to revise labor legislation with one single objective: to strip workers of even more rights. Under the slogans of modernizing the country, making labor laws more flexible and promoting economic growth, it proposed more than 100 measures which, if adopted, would have taken Portuguese labor law back to 19th century. Every anti-worker measure imaginable was included. Dismissal without just cause, precarious employment as the norm, reductions in parental rights, attacks on collective bargaining, attacks on trade union activity, and severe restrictions to the right to strike. Faced with this attack, our class-oriented trade union confederation, CGTP, did not hesitate. We decided that workers had to be mobilized against these proposals and that this would only be possible if they were fully informed about their content. In climate of misinformation and lies promoted both by the government and much of the media, the class trade unions went directly to the workers. We organized thousands of workplace meetings in both public and private sectors, public information initiatives, and petition campaigns. This campaign of raising awareness among workers made it possible to strengthen the struggle. We organized 2 national demonstrations with the participation of many thousands of workers in Lisbon and held 2 general strikes, one in December of 2005 and one in the past 3rd of July. These general strikes were the largest ever held in our country. Comrades, struggle works. Faced with the massive mobilization of Portuguese workers, the government proposal was rejected by the parliament. Such was the strength demonstrated by the workers that even government's own allies lacked the courage to approve it. From this platform, I wish to express our sincere gratitude for all solidarity shown by international trade union movement towards Portuguese workers. Many of the many messages of support we received were an important source of strength and encouragement through this struggle. And now, because I need to accomplish the 3 minutes, I'm in 2.5.
It's already 10 minutes, Chief.
I left the rest for tomorrow discussion, but please let me say that our federation takes a great value on the work carried out within the TUI Public Services, chaired by Comrade Artur Sequeira from our federation, and whose General Secretary is Comrade Zola Zapeta from NEHAWU, whose contribute to strengthen this TUI has been absolutely tireless. It is through exchange of experiences and the definition of common progressive objectives that we will create the conditions necessary to defeat capitalism and imperialism. During our general strike, we railed around one slogan: the attack is brutal, the strike is general. Given the scale of attacks workers are facing throughout the world, our response must also be general. Long live international solidarity, long live struggle of workers, long live NEHAWU.
No, comrades, thanks. Before we call the next speaker, maybe let's say the following. I don't know whether there was a problem of a language barrier with the latter speaker here. Comrades, our international guests came to the Congress. They wrote messages of support to us. We acknowledged the message of support at Congress. And we agreed that we're not going to read them, but we're going to paste them in our website. The session we're in is not a session where our international guests must present their message of support to the Congress. This is an international session. It's not the main Congress. And in that international session or seminar, we then invited a guest speaker to present a topic for us as internationalists gathered here. And what we're requesting is not a must. We have your list, but it's not a must. It's for comrades to reflect for 3 minutes, between 2 and 3 minutes, to the topic presented by Comrade George Mavrikos. How you understood it, how does it relate to your situation, or how can we then better strengthen international solidarity and coordinate ourselves. Your message of support, if you have not submitted them, you can still submit them. They will be acknowledged at plenary, and they will be posted and be kept as a record. So please, comrades, don't give us a message of support. We appreciate them, we value them, but we don't have time both at the Congress and here to go through all of them. I'm just making that plea, and Comrade Makafani, you can interpret in case there's a problem of the language to some comrades here, so that I don't face the problem. The next speaker, comrades, that we're going to call is the head of International Relations Department of the Persian Sanitation Workers Union. Comrades, 3 minutes. Anabapale bonke chema ayikho abaphendule kule nto yala baze nespeech sabo comrade. Go on.
I will do my best, comrades. Greetings, comrades. On behalf of our Paris CGT Sanitation Workers Union, representing over 1,000 workers in the city capital of Paris, we extend our militant salutes to all of you. Our union, created in 2017, is the result of the merger of 2 past CGT unions, some of the oldest CGT unions of the municipal public service. The CGT Street Cleaning Workers Union, formed in 1965, and the Sewer Workers Union, formed in 1887. The merger into a single union was made possible by the awareness gained through the struggle that we have common interest, and that together we can bargain better across the entire sector to preserve our rights while focusing on the specificities of each profession. We have a big task against the privatization, as in the city capital of Paris, 50% of the waste collection has been privatized. And in the sewer, it is the same thing. There were 1,000 sewer workers in 1975. We are only 300 in 2026. Public service and the civil service in France have a unique characteristic. They are a legacy of the values and program of the National Council of the Resistance, the CNR, both born from the balance of power during the liberation against Nazi fascism and the struggles that followed. French public services represented entire sectors of society over which capital had no control. This was an unacceptable situation for the financial oligarchy and the politicians who served them. Louis Saillant, General Secretary of the WFTU from 45 to 68, had assumed the presidency of the same National Council of the Resistance in 1944. Faced with the participation on the one hand of the armed workers movement, and on the other hand, the collaboration of French employers, with a CGT that counted on 6 million members at the liberation, the French workers' movement gained the civil service status, social security, and significant nationalizations. This situation was deemed financially unacceptable by the bourgeoisie because it was a concrete demonstration of socialism. It is precisely these workers' gains that the bourgeoisie has been trying to take away from us for decades. The civil servant status has been under a direct attack, a reduction in rights, but also distortions in its very design. Today, all the gains of the French labor movement are being challenged, even beyond the realm of public services, labor laws, social protection, healthcare, pensions, and even May Day as a national holiday. We analyze several factors that have led to the weakening of the labor movement in France. Structural changes in the workplace with the dismantling of large production units, deindustrialization, the development of subcontracting, the globalization and financialization of the economy, as well as an ideological battle led by the bourgeoisie. with historical revisionism, the individualization of minds, and the reformist orientation that has become the majority position in the leadership of the CGT. The CGT in its constitution advocates a double task, satisfying the immediate needs of the workers, but also the radical transformation of society. We are walking on two legs. We must come back to this fundamental and essential path in France, this path that we are not afraid to proclaim loudly and clearly here in South Africa with NEHAWU, that we must build a socialist society and a dictatorship of the proletariat. In this perspective, we must succeed in reaffiliating the entire CGT to the WFTU. It is an urgent task to rebuild class consciousness in the face of the historical revisionism waged by capital, which seeks to dismantle our social gains one by one and erase our working class history, the very history that demonstrates that yes, struggle pays off and that another world is possible. From this perspective, proletarian internationalism is also a significant contribution for our militants and members. The current situation shows us that our destinies as workers across the globe are intertwined. Capital's predation is destroying public services and making us pay for the cost of rearmament through cuts to social welfare, protection, and wages. We are witnessing a multidimensional war waged by Western imperialism, in which a country like France is playing a major role, along with the European Union and NATO. On the African continent, the French state provides operational support to Ukrainian forces to destabilize the Sahel. Having been legitimately expelled, the French bourgeoisie is attempting to maintain its abject neo-colonial influence. 65 years after their independences, the former French colonies of West Africa are among the poorest countries on the planet, a product of a neo-colonial system of domination built around the CFA franc and the draining of natural resources to the former French colonial power. Last month's Africa-French summit in Kenya clearly demonstrated that French imperialism is seeking a substitute base to rebuild its sphere of influence, including military influence, on the continent. The French working class will never benefit from this policy, and we must fight against neocolonialism and imperialism as the costs are paid by our class brothers and sisters. As your slogan says, an injury to one is an injury to all. This is true in France, in South Africa, in Cuba, in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Iran. That is why our union will remain steadfast in its commitment to developing working class and internationalist education and mobilization in the face of this new phase of imperialism, and we will continue our efforts from France to build and promote the WFTU as a tool enabling the workers' movement to fight imperialism and coordinate our forces towards a society freed from exploitation and war. Long live NEHAWU, long live WFTU, Amanla.
Mandla. Unga crisis now. So called crisis so I depend now. Brothers Fumelane, ayikho lento lento. So ngiyabona ukuthi ngoba kusubuya kuma counter difference, so maybe in the time zone 3 minutes iba something. Comrades, our distinguished and respected guests that have honored us here, we are in trouble in terms of dinner. Food here, they are steamed cooked. And when the steamed food stays in that thing for a long time, they become food poisoning. And we're a trade union, there are workers here that must knock off and go home. They don't have overtimes. We are NEHAWU, we can't provide overtime for them. So we must go and have dinner. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. It's almost 2:09 now. We will, during commissions tomorrow, while commissions are taking place, as a national office bearers, create time to meet with our international guests to proceed with this session that we are having. We can't conclude this session or finish in the manner that we had planned. We must go and get food, dinner is ready, and come back and sit here and eat and continue the interaction amongst ourselves, amongst the local trade union movement that is here, while eating. This session was mainly created for comrades to interact and share experiences while socializing, not to be formalistic, too formal. So we will proceed, comrade leadership. We will finish tomorrow when commissions are taking place. For now, I'm calling the First Deputy President to come and present the vote of thanks to all of us here, so that we can get dinner and come back and continue eating while music is playing. And sibuzane ukuthi kwenzakani emazweni ethu and so on and so on. Amandla, DP.
Amandla.
Thank you so much. Now, I totally agree with the bulk of the presentation, but I have an issue where, as a class, we do not pay serious attention to the variations of the worker in the global south and global north, where we know there's labor arbitrage because of the dependence, where massive resources are accumulated from the global south, they go to the global north. Infrastructure that is developed, they benefit the worker in the global north. There are also good wages, where surplus value has already been transferred from the global south to the global north. There is also ecological destruction, where my village has to deal with climate change. But at the end of the day, my issue was when we are dealing with the issue of us being one class, and if we are going to genuinely unite with the worker in the global south and the worker in the global north, we should, as a class-oriented union, be so deliberate to say how is the worker in the global north prepared to also push back to ensure that the injustice suffered in the global south can be addressed. Then we can collectively work together and be a class properly without those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much, colleagues. As the President has indicated, Comrade, that we will conclude this session tomorrow, where we will be having engagement with our international guests, as the commissions will be doing their work. At this point in time, Comrade, I'm asked by the national office bearers to thank you all, comrade, that has heeded the call to come and have this seminar, as was presented by Comrade Mavrikos. We want to express, comrade, our deepest appreciation to our keynote speaker, Comrade George Mavrikos, the President of International Workers Institute and Honorary President of the World Federation of Trade Unions. Thank you so much, President, for honoring our 13th National Congress as NEHAWU. Your presence this evening means a lot to us. Your lifelong commitment to the international working class movement and the insight you have shared with us today have enriched the Congress and strengthened our collective understanding of the task before the international class consciousness trade union movement. As a union, President, we are privileged by your presence among us, and we thank you for standing in the solidarity with the workers of South Africa and NEHAWU in particular. To each and every Congress we have as the union, and we invite you, you always honor that. That means a lot to us. We also want to extend our gratitude to the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, for his leadership, his commitment, and his dedication to the cause of the people of South Africa. We thank you, Our sincere thanks to our international guests and representatives from our sister union and organization comrades from across the world. And we are saying, as we'll be continuing with our program tomorrow, we will have interaction with you so that we share experiences that we are confronted here in the country, and also what programs we can conclude and implement going forward. Also, comrades, we want to send our sincere appreciation to the staff of this facility, comrade. We know, comrade, that there were some preparations that has been made so that we can have this important gathering. We want to thank you. And also, comrade, the staff of the organization who made it possible that we come together and have this seminar we are having today. All the best, comrade, as we'll be going to having our dinner and have a peaceful rest moving forward. Thanks very much, colleagues. Okay, there is an announcement, comrade, that will be done by the National Treasurer. After that, comrade, we can disperse to the food stations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, President. Comrades, in terms of eating arrangement, we would like this table to go first, and then so that we become orderly. Then after that, we can then go, comrades, and dish. The food station is on your left as you exit the door. Thank you.